ESPN2's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs is brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NHL. And by Dell, direct solutions from the company that pioneered direct around the world. Be direct, Dell. Just about set to go here in Philadelphia for period number 2. We'll start it the way we started the hockey game, scoreless. Numbers after one period of play.
Significant ones are the 0-0 score because of the scoring chances that the Philadelphia Flyers mustered up on Curtis Joseph. So 8 of the 12 were good scoring chances. The hits there, 19 overall, only 1 power play for each team as the Philadelphia Flyers very slow to come out to the bench. The Toronto Maple Leafs have been waiting for them on their respective bench.
It's really odd. The Leafs are all sitting on their bench probably for 30 seconds with nobody on the opposing bench, and now the Flyers filter through on the ice. They had some problem with the lights, but they will sort that out. Rod Brindamore's been criticized for not scoring goals in this series, but not as criticized as his goaltender.
We obviously feel for him as much as, we're a team, we're in this together, but we know that he feels pretty down about some of the, the goals that went in on him. But, you know what, he's a great guy and a great goaltender, and we've got all the confidence in the world in him.
And John Van Beesbrook, I'm sure, would say the same thing about those who are criticizing Brind'Amour. He has just 1 goal in the series, and that was an empty net goal.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of space for anybody. Matt Sundin's not getting any space for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Rod Brind'Amour's not getting much space. Michael Renberg's not getting much space. Damon Langkow. You can go on and on and on. This is as low scoring a series as you'll ever find, with the Toronto Maple Leafs not scoring more than 2 goals in any one of these games.
Welcome to the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's what it's all about. It's a lot easier, and it's not easy to get goals in the regular season. It's certainly easier. Everybody tightens up here in the postseason. We've seen that in this series.
The one guy that Philadelphia want to tighten up on is going to be Barrison.
Turnaround shot, stopped by Van Beesbrook in close quarters on the fresh ice. Ice level, that's where Al Morganti is hanging out.
Well, thanks, guys. You were right about the mood of the locker room. Flyers coming out. Assistant coach Mike Stothers saying, hey, we did everything about right. It's just a matter of getting results here. They were happy with the number of shots they got, obviously, the effort they got, the fact that they're playing like their backs are against the wall as they are. So they're in good shape as far as they're concerned, as game plan and all. It's just a matter of beating Joseph and not letting him get in their heads. And the message that Roger Nielsen would send his team, you can't start to think that this guy's unbeatable at this point. And very often, Darren, when you start hitting posts, it's because the guy's in such good position. And I think those posts are as important as the saves, guys.
That's a good point, and Barry Melrose was talking about maybe Curtis Joseph has gotten into the heads of some of the shooters on Philly. Talking to the Flyers, I don't sense that. They seem to be very confident about beating Curtis Joseph. But once you keep talking and say we're not getting the breaks, we're not getting the bounces, maybe so. Maybe it is in their head.
That is Hasek-like. I'm trying to think of another goaltender they say gets in the heads of opposing forwards. The Flyers are offside at the blue line. Has Curtis Joseph stepped up to that level? He's talked about like Dominik Hasek and playing with the minds of the opposition.
To follow it up with Roger Nielsen bringing in their sports psychologist, Dr. David Scott, who, as Al said, first came in January. Some of the keys that I overheard this morning them talking about, and it falls right into what Mike Stothers, their assistant coach, was talking about. Stop the hoping. Don't give yourself an out. Just do the job. And you want good things to happen, then make them happen. And that's the mindset that they have to go to. Stop the hoping. No wishing here. Go out and do the things right now. They did the things they set out to do in that opening 20 minutes of play, except score.
Markov trying to push it by Flyers. They can't. Terrian shoots it back the other way. Into the corner now. Here's Langkow. Looking to set it up. LeClaire hanging out back behind the net. Shooting around hard to him. Doesn't go through, but it does go to Recchi. Recchi centering pass. Markov did a good job of taking out LeClaire, and it's back to center ice. Here's Falk trying to break. He's whacked by Desjardins. Little drop pass for Berezin, who somehow couldn't handle it. But Berezin creeps out of the corner, trying to make the move, gets the shot off. That was stopped by Van Beesbrook, and a penalty coming up. Falk looked like was taken down back behind the net. He is taking a beating among the Leafs. The leader in taking hits, I think, in that first period, and he just drew himself a penalty to the Flyers, Chris Terrian.
Yeah, he's been in the middle of it, so Terrian's going to go off, second power play of the game. Sergei Berezin, this is his 4th shot on goal, and again, I mentioned the Flyers have got to do a better job on this guy. Oh, Walt Fallen gets good mustard on that shot. Excellent save by Van Beesbrook. And as I mentioned before, the contrast between Van Beesbrook and Curtis Joseph when making a save, Van Beesbrook just calmly threw that aside with his stick side. Good save there as Terrian took down Gary Volk. And now the pressure lies on the home goaltender. The second power play of the game. The shot's now 12-8 in favor of Philadelphia. And the Maple Leafs have had a hard time scoring on this guy.
Therrien, the interference at 2:06, second power play of the night for Toronto. And there you see, unable to manage even a single shot, although they were in the Flyers' zone for half the power play. McGillis taken away by Yannick Perreault. Derek King couldn't get to it on his backhand. Berard over to pinch, but the Flyers get to it first and clear.
Dan McGillis just made a point to Sergei Berezin to the right of the goaltender, just flattened him, and was rather fortunate he didn't take a penalty. Now he brushes him off on the far side as well, letting him know he's there.
Out ahead, here's Derek King. Backhand's hit. McGillis is without his stick now. Looks like McGillis really tried to steal Derek King's stick. And it's flipped back out to center. And all the way down. Joseph will play it for Yuskevich. Joseph loses his edge. He falls down. Brind'Amour trying to burn him on it. Shot stop! Blocked by the defenseman in front.
Oh!
The Leafs fortunate again.
See the smile on his face? Cujo looking over to Berard. A little thank you there. Oh, man! Curtis Joseph went behind and just couldn't get up. Now he's, whoa, what am I going to do? I'm going to poke check? He's just swimming out there. Just a salmon going upstream, trying to get a hold of that puck, and he couldn't. What a skate save by Berard with the left skate. That's a classic skate save. This guy's played some ball hockey in his life. As Cujo again on his stomach, and Brind'Amour, now he doesn't have many places to go because the second effort of Curtis Joseph behind. Left skate. Whoa, right there. Your classic kick save, keeping the blade on the ice. Kenny Dryden would love that. Dryden was one of the best at that save right there. Oh, what a big turning point that is for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Man.
Al, downstairs to you.
Darren, I don't know. I think Yuskevich maybe knocked that puck into the crowd. If a goalie does that, it's a delay of game. I've often wondered about that rule.
You're right. They may want to look into that, Al. The goalie's getting harmed. They got the big paddle down there, and they fired in easy. You're right. That's something I think they've looked at in the past.
Another minute left on this man advantage. It is just all breaking right for Toronto so far. Race Karam in front. Flyers are short-handed, folks. They're not the ones with the power play. Shot, tricky one from Mikhail Anderson. Stopped rather easily by Joseph. As Carvalho is flattened into the glass by Mark Bureau, who's played a spirited game, really a spirited series out of Mark Bureau, the center for the Flyers. Thomas Carvalho, the rookie, is circled back behind his own net. As the Flyers peel off, Carvalho will move to center. Pass, and they're offside as Thomas was stood up by McGillis at that Flyer blue line with 22 seconds left in the Therrien penalty.
Interesting, a lot of times during the course of a hockey game, the goaltender's skates go side to side. You end up hitting the post, and the post is metal, and that's where you lose your edge, whether it be the inside edge or your outside edge. We've talked so much about how long it takes for Eddie Belfour to figure out his skates and make sure he meticulously sharpens them time and time again. You have to wonder if there isn't something wrong with the edge of the skate of Curtis Joseph. Anderson with this long shot here, and Joseph just kind of fights it off right there. makes it interesting, doesn't he? Even a long shot like that. A lot of goaltenders will just take the glove and just turn it over and catch it, as you see the skate blade. And see the red on the outside right here? Leave it, yeah, right there. You see the red? Yep. That's the paint from the post, so there is a good chance that he might have lost an edge there.
I know you'll back me on this, Panger. Always the best skaters on the ice, always the goaltender, right?
Well, sure, but in Curtis Joseph's situation, it is very unique about Curtis Joseph because he never played organized hockey till he was 11 years old. And I talked to him, I said, I wasn't a very good skater. I never skated, and I never played organized official hockey till 11, and he became the goaltender. So, I mean...
It's kind of like Dave in those Wendy's commercials, right?
That's right.
Who's going to play goal? Let's throw Dave in there.
Stick him in there.
He gets hit in the face, but they won the game. And that's the important thing.
Well, he's adopted, and his mother just wouldn't let him get involved in that type of stuff. So it didn't hurt his development. Let's put it that way. So any kids out there that start late, don't worry about it. You still have a good chance. Just watch this guy in the net.
All the way down on Curtis Joseph. Stopped by the Leafs. They look to set it up. Power play is over. Not a whole lot to show for it. Flyers did a good job killing it off. Here's Warner trying to squeeze through Kant. Ty Domi into the corner. Duchesne comes away with the puck. Gives off to Damon Langkow. And it's out to center. Dmitry Yuskevich right back the other way. Leafs can't get to it as Domi is really hit hard by Langkow. McGillis as they move away from the referee. Here's Warner now. And Langkow. Right back in by Markov. Karam for Toronto. Still inside the Philadelphia zone. Chris King on for a rare shift.
Oh, man.
Penalty coming up behind the play. McGillis and Domi hooked up. And Domi skates away. It looks like McGillis got caught. Slashing will be the call. Ty Domi draws a penalty. And the Leafs will go to the power play. Maybe they'll give Curtis Joseph a breather. He could use one. He's been the hockey game so far.
You know something, Lou?
Yeah?
I know why we got fired. Too much of your yapping and not enough of this.
What's that? Hey, that was uncalled for.
Oh, and electrocuting us last year was okay.
That was a joke.
Ah, you like jokes, huh? Here's one for you. Two frogs walk into a bar. One of them does this.
Ow!
Slap the punk.
Call security.
Who's your daddy?
Yeah, hey. Ow!
Want a piece of me?
Frankie!
Look, he's changing colors.
Squirt some tears, punk.
Frankie! I think they're upset.
I got a new car with the red tail lights like blue on the corners and it's hung in tight. It's got a rag top and a contour hood. She goes up, 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 and she's rocking good. Let's go! The 1999 Mazda Miata. Set it free and it'll return the favor.
The Toronto Maple Leafs will now have their second power play of this period here. And Dan McGillis, who took a good hit there from Ty Domi, and McGillis gave him one back, knowing the referee's right there. That's a bad penalty by Dan McGillis, and it puts his team in a bad situation. Well, Ty Domi goes to the bench, and he's done his job. As frustrating as it may be for McGillis, it's a slash, a two-hander right on the side of Ty Domi.
At 3:50 of the period, so it comes just about a minute after they were just finished killing off another penalty, and that'll wear out your penalty killers. So twofold the problems here for Philadelphia. There you see the Leafs power play so far tonight. McGillis, the leading hitter for the Flyers, among the league leaders in the NHL. Not that kind of hitting. That kind of hitting is illegal, and he got called for it on the slash. Leafs look to set up the power play. Here's Derek King moving ahead to center now. Up for Berard, off his skate, goes across for Sylvain Cote. Back for Berard. Down low, it's picked off by the Flyers. Sean Berard used his skate so far in two ways. Saved the goal with that skate save, and then made the nice knockdown to keep it inside the zone.
Yeah, he did. He sort of telegraphed that one pass. That was a good read by the Philadelphia Flyers in intercepting it.
Berard backhands in. Burke gets to it. Looks to wrap it around. Kept in. Sullivan will reverse the flow. Maybe a bit too hard. As Sundin just able to get to it at the blue line and keep it in. Thomas and Sullivan behind the net for Toronto. Works free. Bureau can't clear though. Kept in nicely. Cross ice for Cote. Down low Sullivan. One-touch pass. Shot from the point is gloved up high with no traffic in front of John Van Beesbrook. 53 seconds left in the penalty.
Well, I like the way Brian Berard was moving around on this power play. He started at the 1 point, and as the play's behind the net, it looks like the Maple Leafs might have lost control of it. Berard comes in here on the left side of your screen. Good pinch right there. Now keep it rolling. Thomas is there. Now watch where Berard, he's 34. Now he's in the slot. Okay, now he's going to cycle back there, and there's going to be an open lane. A good open seam there. And although he kind of whiffed on that, you see the knuckleball? It went, a little to the outside right there. But it's the movement as he broke his stick on that shot. But it's the movement of Brian Berard that sets you almost like what Niedermayer's doing in New Jersey. There are no guidelines there, and that makes it very difficult to defend against. You often see that with Sandis Oslund, obviously, in Colorado as well.
Barrows in for Derek King. Lets it go up high on Van Beesbrook. He made the stop. Juggled the rebound. Fortunately, Desjardins was there for Philadelphia and able to clear. 35 seconds left in the power play.
Boy, John Van Beesbrook's made some pretty solid saves. Just strong saves, good positioning here. Took that one right in the belly pad.
By virtue of a couple of power plays, the Leafs are starting to catch up at least in the shots on goal department. It's now 13-10. Advantage Philadelphia. Desjardins trying to fork it out of there. Brind'Amour got a stick on it. Yushkevich for Toronto. He'll shoot in. 10 seconds left for man advantage. Tip shot, stop, centering pass right to the Leafs. Rather the Flyers and Brind'Amour able to clear. play is over. Flyers able to kill it off. Leafs show you a little bit something on that power play.
A little bit, but you really sense when you're in a power play, it's an odd man situation. They didn't battle real hard for a lot of the loose pucks, though.
Icing is called to bring it back down in that Toronto end.
Well, for Dmitry Yushkevich to be playing in this hockey game is really something else. He was very, very questionable coming into this game because of this incident in Game 5. Yushkevich behind the net. The left skate blade of Keith Jones on the left wrist. And Yushkevich got up after taking a couple of punches from the feisty Jones, clearly cut on that left side. And many thought it was around the elbow, the forearm. We felt that it was more around the wrist area where he took the laceration. So obviously several stitches, if not more. We couldn't confirm how many were there on his left hand, and that's the reason why they dressed 7 defensemen, just in case he couldn't go. But Jones has been feisty, very feisty. He's the kind of guy that gets right in your face, and he does anything and says anything to try to get you off your game.
Yushkevich scored a goal in that game number 5, and he's a former Flyer. Original Philadelphia Flyer draft pick. The preseason with the Flyers. Shot on goal. Cujo looked behind him, but he's got it. More good pressure by Philadelphia at even strength.
Oh, good face-off win here. Good face-off win that creates a great scoring chance through traffic. And the crowd getting her involved here in Philadelphia. Curtis Joseph's got to fight this one off. Damon Lankow, the left-hand shot. First hop, no one gets it. Second hop, oh, Lankow did a nice job of lifting up the stick of Warner. Recchi supports it. Back to Dan McGillis. McGillis has got the hardest shot from the point. He lets it fly through traffic, and Lankow went right to the net. Once he won the face-off, he got away from his check and went right to the front of the net. Warner was on him, but that was nearly a redirection there that would have really caused havoc for the goaltender.
Face-off. Won by the Flyers. Anderson will wrap it around, trying to get it to Valery Zelepukin. He is stood up by big Chris McAllister. Thomas for Toronto, able to work it ahead. The reports that Steve Thomas was somewhat questionable for tonight's game. Said to be suffering from the flu, but he is out there. The NHL Warrior. Yushkevich wrapped up by Zelepukin, and it's cleared. Here's Thomas now. Cuts his shot, looking for the glove side on Van Beesbrook. And it went wide. Thomas can play to knock that one down. Too hard for Sundin to handle. And the Flyers come away. At center, behind Jody Hall. McAllister over to let him know he's there. Berard picks it up for Toronto. Dumped to the ice. McAllister recovers, wraps it around the boards and out. McGillis right back in as the Flyers go for a change among the forwards. Shot well wide of the net. Toronto trying to clear off the wall. Sullivan can't. But keep in there by McGillis. Centering feet off the stick in front and all the way back to center.
It all started with good dump-ins, though, by the Philadelphia Flyers. Getting the puck in deep, not turning it over at the blue line, and then causing a forecheck.
The Maple Leafs looking to wrap up the Flyers season here tonight.
Car with the red tail lights like glue on the corners and it's hung in tight. It's got a rag top and a contoured hood. She goes up, and she's rocking. Let's go!
The 1999 Mazda Miata. Set it free, and it'll return the favor.
What you doing, Frank?
Waiting for him to talk.
It's just a game. Frank.
Some nights I'm in here, and I swear, I can hear him talking.
We all have our demons, Frank.
Shh, quiet, you're gonna get us caught.
Charlie?
Yeah?
You hear something?
No.
Now?
No.
Maybe a good omen for the Leafs playing tonight. It was on this night 32 years ago that Toronto last won the Stanley Cup. They beat Montreal at the Gardens in 6 games. 9 players on that Toronto team were 30 years or older, including 42-year-old goaltender Johnny Bower.
Johnny Bower, Terry Sawchuk, and in this second period, a huge part of this game came from their goaltender. You talk about omens, we might have one. the way Curtis Joseph floundered behind his net. He got some help. Sawchuk stopped 40 of the 41 Canadian shots.
9 players 30 or older, Penga. You're like talking about the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
This year's Dallas Stars.
Well, they called them the Over-the-Hill Gang. The Over-the-Hill Gang back in 1967. And in the second period here, this behind the net, Brian Berard helps out the goaltender that's just scrambling to get on his feet, just scrambling. Now he finally does get up, and Berard makes a left kick save. Boom! Looked like an easy empty netter for the Philadelphia Flyers. We've seen pucks go off the pipe. We've seen bad bounces that haven't gone in on the Toronto goaltender. We've seen a lot of action there, but things have a way of evening out, and now the shots are 14-10. So the Leafs are starting to get a little bit of momentum because of the breaks that they've had in this hockey game.
Toronto actually out shooting Philadelphia so far this period, 4-2. That after being outshot 12-6 in period number 1. Just squeezes out, so the Flyers will have to reset and get onside. They did not. And so we get the whistle. 12:15 to go here in period number 2.
Well, certainly when you talk about momentum, especially on home ice, and you talk about this Philadelphia Flyers club, I spoke to John LeClair this morning and Keith Jones and guys that have been banging, and they have their success when they get the puck in deep and start banging. And for LeClair, it's very important that that happens, and he has to read and react off who he's playing with in getting the puck in there, and that'll allow him to work his body down low like we saw in Game 4 so many times with him using that big body as the back of him and getting scoring chances.
He scored 2 goals in that game, and that was really only half the story. He was just punishing the Leafs at every turn. Haberla puts his man to the glass. Now Warner is hammered by Bureau. Rolls up for McGillis. Turnaround, got a lane, lets it go.
Right off the hand.
It's deflected and pops up in the air, and we get a whistle as players come together.
That might have gone right off the head of Cote. One of the players in front of the net looked like they turned perfectly. I mean, they timed it right because that puck was absolutely whistling. And McGillis has been really, really quick in making his decision. I mean, he's just going to let this thing go right here and let her fly. It might have gone off the stick of a player right about there, and it did. It certainly did. Oh, man. Right off the lid of Cote. Yeah, Bureau in front of the net. The goaltender, Joseph's looking around. And trust me, this guy can fire the puck. He can let her go.
Wow, I thought it was off the back of the helmet. That's the front of the helmet.
Yeah, the front side. He just turned real quick. And don't forget, the ears are exposed. I mean, your jaw's exposed, your face exposed, back of your neck's exposed. Unfortunately for Cote, that went right off of that helmet.
Face off to the left of Curtis Joseph. And it's won by the Leafs. Look to move it ahead. Little sideboards pass. A bit too far for Gary Barker. He would have been breaking. And the whistle for the icing. And they'll bring it back down into the Toronto end.
Well, we mentioned this young core on the blue line for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Well, the experience, Sylvain Cote, playoff experience, 63 games. The other 6 defensemen, that including this game tonight, have combined for a whopping 51 games. That's it. So there's reason for the Philadelphia Flyers early on in hockey games to be running around in Toronto's zone. I mean, these guys have been thrown into the fire, and there's no better way to learn that experience. You have to make the playoffs to get that experience. And this is a huge stepping stone for the Toronto Maple Leafs, regardless how this goes.
Shot pops up in the air, gloved down by the Flyers, and we get a whistle. I think they're saying hand pass, and they'll bring it outside the zone. I believe that is the call.
It certainly is. Rob Schick was behind the play, and he saw it all the way. And he is very adamant about that call, so the faceoff goes to the outside. Good break there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. As we mentioned, getting the puck down low. Mark Recchi on Yuskevich. Right to the slot. Lankow's shot gets blocked. Now there's going to be a hand pass. As Curtis Joseph's trying to play the puck, it's John LeClair that gets it, and he plays it right back to Lankow. But I think his intention was, as he tries to get in the front of the net, was play it to himself here and then shoot it, but it jumped off his stick. And that's a good call by the referee.
At center, LeClair missed most of that hit. Nearly put Markov into the Flyer bench. Once again, back to our studios and Michael Kim.
All right, Steve, let's get you an updated score on the Boston Bruins and the Hurricanes. Anson Carter working the give and go with Steve Heinz, his 3rd goal of the postseason, 2-0 Boston.
Anson Carter continues his role. Thanks, Mike. We look forward to seeing Michael along with Barry Melrose, Ray Ferraro, NHL tonight after our game tonight.
LeClair at 6'3", 228 pounds. 43 goals, was 5th in the NHL. The 16 power play tallies, 4th in the NHL.
Face-off won by the Flyers. That shot is deflected wide of the net and all the way back out. Icing will not be called here, fortunately for all of us concerned. Kept in by the Leafs. We've had a rash of whistles here as we approach the midway point of period number 2. Here's Lankow, somehow onside, rolls in on Joseph, and he will hang on. Following up on your lack of experience, Darren, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Randy points out Brian Berard, Steve Sullivan, and Sergei Berezin, the top 3 scorers for the Leafs in this series so far, all in their first postseasons. So that also a lack of playoff experience, and those guys have been successful.
Well, here they were trying to get the forecheck going, and this is the old reverse. Stop it here. Reverse, trying to go to this player. This player comes this way and then drops it back the same way again. All on the strong side of the ice. Everything's on the strong side. And then it ends up that one of the wingers wasn't there, so it went back to the point. But interestingly enough, on the left side of your screen, John LeClair was there, working the weak side, but the puck never even got around the boards.
Face-off coming up to the right of Curtis Joseph. Draw won by Brind'Amour. Nice play off the face-off. Burke got the shot off, but it was blocked by Warner. Burke comes over to pinch on Warner as it travels down the length of the ice. And a penalty coming up. Delayed call against Philadelphia as back behind the play, Berard was taken down. I didn't see it, Banger.
Back of the play while the Toronto Maple Leafs were setting up ice, Brian Berard took something from Keith Jones. And it might very well have been a stick up high. I mean, one of the keys on a guy like Brian Berard, you want to make sure you finish your checks and finish him off as much as possible. Jones is in your picture right now. Now he's going to swing around. Oh, man. Jeepers. There's got to be some responsibility with where that stick goes. I mean, at some point, you're going to have somebody very seriously injured. It was fortunate for Berard. It was the shaft of the stick, right where the heel of the blade and the shaft joined, and it was right on the neck, and it wasn't something any worse than that.
Bit of a rarity. Toronto took the first penalty, but the Flyers have been called for 4 consecutive minors. That's rather rare, I would think, in the regular season or the postseason. We'll see what they do with the power play.
Right off the face-off. Little hook there, little hook. Now the hands are up. Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. So McGillis has taken a bad penalty in this period, and Jones has just taken an undisciplined penalty there.
Really relying on their penalty killers. You wear them out. So many minors in such a short span of time as we approach the midway point of this game. Steve Levy, Darren Pang, Al Morganti, National Hockey Night on ESPN2 from Philadelphia, where the Flyers face elimination by these Toronto Maple Leafs, up 3 games to 2 in this Eastern Conference quarterfinal series, the best of 7. This is game number 6. Here's Matt Sundin. Back for Yuskevich. Sundin holds down low Sullivan, lets it go off the outside of the post. Flyers get to it, flip it around and out. The faceoff will stay inside the Philadelphia zone. Downstairs to Al Morganti.
Oh, Steve, one of the criticisms of Flyers coach Roger Nielsen is he's rolling out 4 lines, and a guy like Keith Jones isn't getting enough ice time. Here's a couple of goals. He makes things happen. He's a nasty player. Certainly not helping himself tonight as Roger Nielsen throws him out there for a lot of ice time, and he's taken the 2 penalties. But Jones's disposition makes him invaluable to the Flyers. Unfortunately, taking penalties like that makes him less valuable, guys.
All right, Al, thanks. One of those criticisms was directed to the tough guy line. Roger had Craig Berube. You see right in front of Roger there, Sandy McCarthy. They were on the ice when Yannick Perreault scored the overtime goal. You might not think the 4th line would be out there some 11 minutes into an overtime period, but they were.
With McCarthy, Renberg, and Anderson were out on the ice on that play.
Face off to the right of John Van Beesbrook. 1:15 left in the power play. Off the face. Good draw by Philadelphia. They were able to clear.
One of the things Roger said in that overtime session is he felt the longer that thing went, the better the chance he had of winning the hockey game, right? Keep rolling them over and rolling them over.
You can see both sides of the argument there. Just didn't work out for Roger in this case.
Right.
And it's cleared back by the Flyers. Is this great penalty killing by Philadelphia throughout, or lackluster power play by Toronto? They've had the chances.
I haven't been impressed with the power play, to be honest with you. And the one guy that's got to lead you on the power play is the big guy. I mean, Matt Sundin has been not only quiet 5-on-5, where the entire team has been a -2 so far in this series, I mean, but really, on the power play as well, there hasn't been that real jump or sense of urgency, or I don't know what it is with Matt Sundin, but something's missing.
Sundin has played very good two-way hockey. That's fine for the third line and second line guy, but he's supposed to score, and he hasn't. That shot goes wide of the net. Sundin, the only player on the Leafs to average more than a point per game during the regular season. However, in this postseason coming in, Sundin has just 1 point. Granted, it was a big point. It was a game-winning goal in game number 2. But that's all he has to show for it in the first 5 games of the series.
Yeah, the entire Toronto Maple Leaf club, as you see the 1 goal that he has and the 14 shots on goal before tonight's game, there are 15 players on the Maple Leaf roster that are minus players. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, I mean, for the Philadelphia Flyers, I should say, there's only 3 minus players. So that tells you 5-on-5. Philadelphia's had the edge. They're +2, while Toronto is -2. But it's been the power play where they're getting their points and their chances.
Toronto so far, and again, this is their 4th power play, still has 12 seconds left on it. They only have 3 shots on goal to show for it. Still time in this one. Off the face-off, though. Philadelphia shorthanded. They get the better opportunity. Right on goal.
Right off the face-off. Good win there by Bureau.
That was almost right off the hop off the face-off. Oh, yeah. That's just a heavy-duty collision at that Philadelphia blue line, and that results in a couple of players like Mark Bureau and Derek King getting together. 8:45 to go here in the second, and we'll step out. Power play's over. Back to 5 aside. We're all even up on the big board as well.
It's a party at your house. It's a party at our house. It's a party at our house.
Welcome to Happy Hour, people!
It's Happy Hour.
Do you think it doesn't matter if you do drugs? Well, it does matter. Because drugs can make kids die and go away. Then there'll be no best friends to play basketball with. No little brothers or sisters to show how to ride a bike. No you. And that'll make a lot of people sad. You're too special to do drugs. Don't do drugs. Don't die and go away.
Back to Philadelphia, or is scoreless. Moving to the latter stages of period number 2. As the Leafs win the draw and look to fire in. Shot on Van Beesbrook. Will leave it there for his defense. This time in the form of Chris Therien. But the Leafs get to it. Berezin reversed the flow. Valk in on the forecheck. Markov trying to come over and couldn't keep in. And a penalty coming up behind the play. It's like a high sticking penalty. And this one will go against Toronto, as you can tell. The roar of the crowd.
Well, they need something to get themselves going. That's for darn sure. And if it takes the power play, their penalty killing has been very good. And that's often an emotional momentum builder for the bench and for the crowd as well. But Gary Valk now his second minor penalty. He's drawn a couple as well, so he has been involved in this hockey game. And it came to the left of John Van Beesbrook, so deep in the offensive zone for the Toronto Maple Leaf forward, right behind the net. And his stick got up high, crawled on the shoulder of Damon Langkow, and the referee again in perfect position right to the left.
So we've shown you what the Leafs have been able to do with their power play. Big Zippo. And here's a Flyers chance on their second of the night. Leafs are 0 for 4. The penalty balk for the high stick at 11:30 of period number 2. Warner will take this draw with Damon Langkow. Langkow getting a lot of quality minutes for the Flyers. Some real offensive roles. Here's Duchesne. Looks to move it ahead. Eric Desjardins, who shoots in. Markov for the Leafs is hammered, but worked it free. You pay the price, and he'll take it every time, as Mike Johnson was able to clear. Van Beesbrook sweeps to Desjardins. He and Duchesne play the points. It's Leclerc, Recchi, and Langkow filling out your 5 Flyers on the power play. Back to the point. Leclerc right to the front of the net. Recchi has now. Now he switches spots with Langkow. Cross for Desjardins. Look to set it up. Duchesne thought about it, elected to pass off, instead Arecki. Gets it back from Lankow. Duchesne, they play catch. Crowd urging them for a shot. Duchesne off his boot, couldn't play it. Good play just to keep it inside the zone. Leclaire, good body position, allowed it to go to Arecki. Now the crowd more than urging the Flyers for a shot on goal. Trying to give and go. Warren will get to it. Can't clear as Leclaire took him down. Nice play. Duchesne to move around. Fakes the shot. Now holds. Backhand and finally cleared by Berezin.
Oh, mercy. You got to shoot the puck at one point. You got guys paying the price all over the place. They were trying to set play to get Desjardins to jump in from the right point, and it never manufactured itself.
There's a shot on goal. And the crowd, a sarcastic cheer. Back to the point. McGillis, quick pass down low that Brind'Amour could not handle. Renberg along the sideboard. Lets it go. Stopped by Joseph. Rebound pops in the air. Brind'Amour keeps it in play. Cross ice pass now. McGillis one-timer. Rocket over the net. Catches glass.
Yikes!
That might tick off some of his forwards trying to stand in front of the net.
Just got away from him.
Here's Brind'Amour now. Dumps it down low. Power play is over. Flyers puck possession time will be great, but who cares? Maybe a shot, maybe 2 shots on goal. 2 shots on goal during the 2 minutes. Their attack zone time is going to be great as well, but big deal now. And another penalty. As players hooked up, it looks like a penalty called that'll just go to Toronto. So consecutive power plays now coming up for Philadelphia. The Flyers able to turn the other cheek.
No, you can't like that if you're Pat Quinn. You can't like that after doing an excellent job of killing off that first one there. Even though the Philadelphia Flyers were reluctant to shoot the puck, the youngster Chris McAllister gets called for roughing after the play. Oh boy. McAllister 33 here out of nowhere, and let's see what's going to happen. Bang. And it's so little too. I mean, there's just nothing to that. You don't even smoke them. It was just a little nudge to the head, and Jones had about a 3-second delay there, and his head jarred backwards to make sure the referee saw it. Steve Duchesne on the left point of the power play is a left-hand shot. The difficult part is that he had to try to create a better scoring angle. But with Yushkevich here in front of the net, he's got an open lane. Let it roll now, guys. It's open, open, open. Stop it here. Chance to shoot it. The defenseman goes down. Keep her going. Now he wants to drag it. Drag it. He's got nowhere to go whatsoever. Nowhere to go. So that one little glimmer of hope to shoot the puck, he let it slide away. And after that, it was shut down.
And this power play won't start off particularly well as the Leafs get to it, able to clear. McAllister 2 for roughing at 13:50. Third power play of the night. Facing the attack zone time. They spent nearly the entire 2 minutes, it seemed like, in the Leaf zone with their last advantage, and had just 2 way-out shots to show for it. Tricky Karam off Joseph, but he recovers to Berard, and the Leafs able to clear. And this has got to take a toll on your penalty killers, getting back-to-back penalties off.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
Wear down some players in a 6-game series now that might need a 7th game back in Toronto on Tuesday night. 2-on-2 in the corner. And able to clear.
I wasn't sure if the fans were saying shoot it or Cujo. It's Cujo.
Trying to get on Curtis Joseph. He's heard that before. Dunkhouse from way out, went wide of the net. Leclaire kicks it free, and Desjardins, he fakes the shot, fakes another shot, centering feet in front. Lankow couldn't tee it off, as Johnson got just enough of him in the stick, and the Leafs clear.
I remember Roger Nilsson talking about the Flyers needing more right-hand shots. That's a great example of that right there. Being a left-hand shot, you can't turn and shoot the puck like that.
Here's McGillis cutting in, lets it go, and it's deflected out of play and into the crowd. Whistle stops the action, 4:46 left in the scoreless second, 36 remaining on the power play.
Eric Desjardins fakes the shot here. Now, oh, he's going to fake it again because you've got the youngster, Markov was there, and the turn and pivot from looked like it was Damon Lankow. Yes, it was. Damon Lankow had the pass on his tape, and frustration right there, and he jams the blade right into the floor of the boards there and snaps that one in half. But if he's a right-hand shot, he gets that puck, on the tape, and he lets her fly. As a left-hand shot, he's got to take the pass, turn, pivot, and then shoot it. By that time, you collapse down low on him.
Lankow's now gone 21 games without scoring a goal. That's regular season and playoff, dating back to March 11th. That was a pretty good opportunity there. Power play continues on. Shot from the angle. Wide of the net from close quarters. That must just be trying to pick a spot there, and he missed.
And I think, too, the other thing is I think that puck has been bouncing a little bit. When it bounces like that, the players don't know exactly what the puck's going to do off the stick.
Here's Dykhouse, cruising and shooting in. Joseph couldn't handle that one back behind the net. Flyers get to it. Vandermoor leaves there for Renberg. For Keith Jones now. Shovels it deep to the corner. Cote cuts his man off. That'll allow the Leafs to get to it. They don't just clear, they make a good pass. Here's McAllister. Onside out of the box, and he fanned on his shot. Van Beesbrook will cover up as players come together after the whistle. And it looks like another penalty coming up. But we will sort it out when we come back. Flyers unable to do anything with back-to-back power plays.
Poor Yuri.
Oh, you hate to see that happen.
Players in the NHL don't take that kind of abuse.
Someone make him stop! So, you know, being an instructor with the Navy SEALs isn't all it's cracked up to be.
You are getting desperate.
No, I'm always like this. I really have no chance with you girls, do I? Be honest, I can take it.
Yes, but we cannot.
You all are like angels, I tell you.
This guy is making me sick.
Hey, you're not the only one.
I got a new car with a red tail light. It's like blue on the corners and it's hung in tight. It's got a rack top and a contoured hood. She goes up, and she's rocking good. Let's go!
The 1999 Mazda Miata. Set it free, and it'll return the favor.
Welcome back here where the Philadelphia Flyers will have their third straight chance on the power play. Remember earlier in this period, Keith Jones comes high and hard and took the 2-minute minor penalty on Brian Berard. Well, just moments ago, after the Maple Leafs had just killed off yet another power play, Berard, a minor cross-check. Jones embellishes it, and Jones gets the call again. So Berard a little payback at a bad time, even though it was a good acting job by Keith Jones to draw that penalty.
Leafs are catching up. The Flyers were called for 4 consecutive minors. And here comes Toronto. They've been whistled now for 3 consecutive minors. 20 seconds in between the first 2, and between the second and third, just 6 seconds. Bottom line, Flyer power play. Under 4 to go here in the second, still scoreless. Leafs playing a much better second period. A period we've seen a ton of special teams. Flyers look to set it up here. Here's Lankow. Down low, Parecki. Off the half boards. Gets it back. Crowd urging for a shot. There it is. Short side. Might have been looking for a tip from Lankow. Either way, Warner gets to it for Toronto and clears.
Philadelphia has 2 options on the power play because they're limited right-hand shots. The one is Desjardins taking the one-timer. We saw him score in Game 4 with that same play as the point man, the main guy in the power play. The other is Desjardins sneaking in the back door on a cross-crease pass.
Chopped that into the corner and over the glass and into the crowd. And where's the face-off going to come? That's big. And I believe the faceoff will come outside the zone. They're going to talk about it. Stay tuned for Game 7 as our coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs continue. We're headed back up the New Jersey Turnpike. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New Jersey Devils. What a great story in that one. That's Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And if necessary, we'll have San Jose at Colorado coming up after that one. If necessary, a doubleheader of Game 7s over on ESPN, part of the Go Network, go.com.
What an effort from Jágr and the Penguins today.
Great story.
Electric crowd there. Oh, boy. Just darn well looked good. Didn't it? Good story for that, for Jágr to come back and the emotions of being there. So maybe it was wise that he didn't play the game in New Jersey Game 5 before that.
Now I'll have another 24 hours to rest it.
Yep.
Take care of himself. We'll see him on Tuesday night from the Continental Airlines Arena. And here comes come the Flyers now in across the line. No, they don't. They're offside at the blue line on the power play with 36 seconds left.
Eric Desjardins as this right-hand shot, as we mentioned now, and I'm sure he's going to stay out on the ice, maybe getting a towel to clear the visor because a lot of moisture gets in there. So in order to see that puck coming clearly, 36 seconds left on the power play. The key setup, again, the one where he's at the point looking for the one-timer, the other where they isolate the left side of the ice, so that's to the right of Curtis Joseph, and then he sneaks into the right side and goes back door. You see that with Freddie Olsen, does that a lot. You see that a lot with the right-hand shot jumping in from the point position.
All right, the Flyer power play continues for the half minute. Knockdown. Johnson, good effort by him from his knees to get it out of the zone. Sending the Flyers back to regroup with Steve Duchesne. Looks to wind it up. Here's Duchesne at center. Onside just barely, and they try to make a play out of it. Here's Renberg. Back to Duchesne. Goes across for Desjardins. Brind'Amour can't get there. Now he gets the puck as the puck came to him. Traffic in front of the net. Duchesne, his shot is blocked by Warner. Across for Desjardins. Centering feed. Tried to go back door, but Brind'Amour couldn't knock it down. Penalty's over. Back to 5 aside. But the Flyers still set up pretty well here. Off the side of the net, and Cujo will hang on with Johnson on top of Renberg.
Funny the way they started, there really wasn't much going on at all. And maybe Curtis Joseph was trying to get a call, maybe trying to lean the officials towards his way, but it was a jam up on the short side. He's trying to cover it up there. And it is awkward when you try to lean down and try to cover up the puck because you don't want to leave your feet if you're stable like that. The minute you might leave your feet to go reach down is the minute a person could poke it through your legs when you go to do that. But John LeClair and the Flyers, very, very disappointing turning of events here in this second period. I mean, they just got 3 straight power play opportunities and really nothing. I don't mean, you know, nothing much in terms of quality. I mean, nothing. I mean, nothing.
But they're spending time inside the zone, and that almost makes it worse, and they still have nothing to show for it. I mean, puck possession is all Flyers.
Yeah, for Curtis, that's a bonus right there. I know, you know, stamina-wise, you're moving side to side, as the former goaltender Roger Nilsson well knows, but, man, it's a bonus when they're not shooting the puck at you. No shots whatsoever, very reluctant to pull the trigger, and maybe you've got to credit Toronto for getting in the shooting lanes. I mean, they seem to be there, and that's why the Philadelphia Flyers wanted to fake a lot of shots and go wide. But you keep doing that, you run out of real estate.
We're 5-on-5, and that's a rarity now as the penalty is over. 1/3 of this power of this period has been played with one team having a power play. 6 minutes of the 18 we've played so far has been 5-on-5 hockey. Here's Burt. Shoot in around the glass. Thomas plays the man. Sundin will get to the puck. Now loses. Turnaround shot from Bureau is blocked. Thomas is checked. Dykhouse tried to keep in, and he put it over the boards and into the bench. Coming up, as soon as this period ends, we'll have a new Dodge intermission report for you. We'll send you the folks at ESPN News. Highlights of the only other game being played tonight. The Hurricanes and the Bruins in Boston, and the Penguins and the Blues both staying alive. That's the new Dodge intermission report. Coming up in $1:23 of hockey time here in the second from Philadelphia.
Jones back on the ice, face off to the outside. And looks like we'll be heading to that third period with no goals on the board.
Does look that way. We told you at the top. Flyers have scored first in all 5 games. And it hasn't meant anything, really, because the Flyers find themselves trailing 3 games to 2. But Banger, you said it would be important tonight. You got to think, if the first goal in this game comes in the third, it's crucial. Here's Sundin trying to break through. On his backhand, turnaround shot was blocked, never made it on goal. Sundin sent to the boards in a rough fashion. Thomas will shoot it in deeper. Off the referee to Sundin. Dykhouse ties him up in the corner. Thomas over to take the body. Berezin tries to peel it away and does. Thomas trying to push it back, and the Flyers come away. Final 40 seconds of period number 2. Delayed penalty coming up. Back behind the play again. And the Leafs get to it, and it'll go against Toronto. With 31 seconds left in this second period.
Oh, man! Oh, the Toronto Maple Leafs must be feeling that everyone's against him here in what could be an elimination game for the Maple Leafs. I mean, because every time they turn around, they're getting in the way of bodies and trying to hook guys and hold guys, and man, they're getting called everywhere they turn around. Thomas showing his frustration through the neutral zone. Let's take a look here on Jody Hull. It's a dive by Jody Hull. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Jody Hull goes down real easy there.
Well, the numbers have been really terrific with 2 referees, you see, compared to last year's playoffs. Penalty minutes down per game, 10. I mean, that's 5 minors. Power play chances just off 1. This is rather rare. 4 consecutive penalties called against Philadelphia, and now 4 consecutive penalties called against Toronto. You hear it all the time. The refs, they try to even things up. And it looks blatant tonight if you want to go by the score sheet. Very odd. 4 consecutive penalties called against Philly, and now 4 times whistled against Toronto. 2-on-1 Leafs. Here they come. Won't get the shot off as Perreault crashes into the net and knocks it off with 2.8 seconds left.
John Van Beesbroek did a good job, too, of creating some interference. Yannick Perreault trying to sneak between Van Beesbroek and his post, and Van Beesbroek just gave him a little left shoulder to make sure that he knocked it off guard. 2-on-1 break here. Shoot it, fake it. What are you going to do? He tried to slide a little pass over there, and Yannick Perreault lifted up the stick of Van Beesbroek before Van Beesbroek could poke that puck away. And no scoring chance on a key 2-on-1 short-handed break.
2.8 seconds left. In all likelihood, this power play will carry over for Philadelphia into period number 3, and they'll start it on the fresh ice.
Yeah.
And that's a positive.
Yeah, that is a positive here. Flyers just a slight edge in faceoffs against the Maple Leafs. Slight edge. Mark Bureau, in game 1, he went 47%. He went 44%, 41, 50, 55% in game 5.
This is a much more evenly played second period after Philadelphia really dominated the first with nothing to show for it. It looks like neither team will have anything to show for it except 2 hard-working periods. They do get the shot off. These are the stop. Pretty tricky play there by Warner and Sundin. Horn sounds. Period number 2 comes to an end. The same way period number 1 ended. We're scoreless. ESPN News after these messages.
I got a new car with the red tail lights like glue on the corners and it's hung in tight. It's got a rag top and a contour hood. She goes up, and she's rocking. Let's go!
The 1999 Mazda Miata. Set it free, and it'll return the favor.
All my life, I wanted to be the Korean Nolan Ryan. Now, I want to be the Korean Big Mac.
Great quality, time after time.
Same with Super 8.
Every room is comfortable. And roomy.
Super 8.
Super 8. Life's great at Super 8.
Here! No! He's got a butt!
Guess I'll have the steak.
Michelin would like to remind you, there's only one safety feature on the road that actually touches the road. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Amazing, that car
car never ages.
To help keep your car young, protect your engine with Havoline Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car.
Tonight's intermission report is brought to you by Dodge. Now, let's join ESPN News. From the worldwide leader in sports, this is ESPN News.
Thanks for channeling in here on ESPN News. We are your 24-hour source for sports and information. We'll get you back to the Flyers and the Leafs in just a second. I'm Trey Wingo, Dave Feldman here. But first, we're going to fill you in on everything else because, well, it's a responsibility we take very seriously.
Yeah, I can tell you do. All right, here's the situation. At first, Jaromir Jagr guaranteed he would play in Game 5. This after missing Games 2, 3, and 4 with a bad groin. Well, he missed Game 5. So for Game 6, he tried a different approach. No guarantees. I probably won't play, said the NHL's leading scorer, but you never know. Jagr applying the reverse Jedi mind trick on himself, no less, to ensure the good ice karma, especially with the Penguins team on the verge of elimination and the Penguins organization on thin ice as well. Ice, ice, baby. And Jagr's back. The reverse trick worked. Pens trailing 1-0 second period. Alexei Kovalev, the great pass to Martin Stroker, who beats Martin Brodeur for the goal. Game tied at 1. Many hugs. Third period, Rob Niedermeyer to Peter Secor to Jason Arnott, who shoots, and Niedermeyer, right place, right time, rebound me. Devils up 2-1. The Pens try to even it up off the turnover. Jagr sighting. Watch Jagr on the turnover, one-on-one with Brodeur. Okay, Brodeur won that one. We'll get back to Jagr shortly. Later in the third, let's get back to him now. Jagr to German Titov. Brodeur saves, but Jagr puts in the rebound for the goal. Game tied at 2. The groin was bothering him a little bit, but not enough that he couldn't score. In overtime, the Pens on the break, Straka to Jagr. And like I said, the groin was bothering him, but not that much. The Pens win 3-2. So the Penguins on the verge not only of elimination, but possible extinction as the franchise fate is being decided in bankruptcy court. Will now play a Game 7 Tuesday in New Jersey. Tom Barrasso stopped 25 shots and wasn't beaten on any of the long shots that the Devils were successful in earlier in the series. The Yotes and the Blues, Game 6, second period tied at 2. Coyotes on the power play. Teppo Numminen puts one past goalie Grant Fuhr, 3-2 Coyotes. Numminen second of the playoffs. Later in the second, Blues on the attack. Scott Young with the blast from the blue line. Hobby Bulin saves it, but Chris Pronger knocks it in. Hobby Bulin's first name, Nikolai. Game tied at 3. Third period still tied. Pierre Turgeon centers the pass, and Jeff Farley blasts it by Hobby Bulin. 4-3 Blues. Coyotes center Jeremy Roenick injured, can only watch as the Blues go on to win 5-3, so they're still hanging in there. Coming back from the 3-1 deficit, though extremely rare. However, Trey, 6 teams, including the Blues in 91, have done it this decade. The Coyotes haven't made it out of the first round since 87 when they were in Winnipeg.
Blues did it against Detroit, in fact, that year. Eastern Conference, Canes and Bruins, first period, no score off the face-off. The ageless veteran, Raymond Bourque, coming in on Artis Irbe. Irbe makes the save, then almost kicks it into his own net. Later in the first, Canes on the power play. Keith Primo moves in. Byron DeVoe stops that. And the Glenn Wesley rebound. Paul Maurice says he just stopped that and the Glenn Wesley rebound. Still in the first, no score. Bees on the power play. Jason Allison, Dimitri Kristich, Joe Thornton. Add that up, it means a goal. 1-0 Boston. Thornton's first to the playoffs. Then Anson Carter, who had the overtime game winner in Game 5, gets it back from Steve Hines and go to the net and good things happen. He went to the net. A good thing happened. And an update for you in this game right now. It is 2-0 after 2 periods. Keep in mind most of that because of Byron Dafoe, who has stopped 27 shots. A reminder, the Colorado Avalanche can close out San Jose Monday, a game you can see on ESPN, 9:30 Eastern, Avalanche and the Sharks. Colorado trying to move on in the Western Conference. A reminder, you're at the second intermission of the Leafs and the Flyers. There is no score. Deuce viewers, go back to that game. News viewers, stay where you are. We're coming back.
You didn't have to be so nice. I would have liked you anyway. If we drove together once or twice, and went upon your quiet way. The next Neon, a lot more to love.
Out here, we all want to play like the pros. Stop pucks like the superhuman Dominic Hasek. Fly like Theo Fleury. Madonna. What's weird is sometimes they wish they could play like us. Like when they're tied and the rules make them stop. We just keep playing.
Hey, Dave, I heard you used to be a goalie, too.
Yeah, I was pretty good.
Where should I play? Play for them. Hi, Dave. Hi.
Oh, nice save, Dave. That's how I won the game.
After a day on the ice, nothing tastes better than Wendy's Big Bacon Classic. It's hot and juicy, and with biggie fries and a cold drink, now that's a meal.
Have you won any big games?
Well, we did win that Stanley Cup.
That's nice.
Wendy's Big Bacon Classic, the official hamburger of the NHL.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Amazing. That car never ages.
To help keep your car young, protect your engine with Havoline Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car.
A great tradition reborn on ESPN2 Friday Night Fights. This week, the main event, Antonio Diaz takes on Marlon Thomas. Plus, a look back at the history of the junior welterweight. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 10:30 on ESPN2.
Tonight's second intermission report is presented by the new Dodge, the official vehicles of the NHL.
We are back in Philadelphia. Obviously scoreless to start. Maybe not so obvious we'd be scoreless after one, and even less obvious we'd be scoreless after two, but that's where we stand. Shots on goal after two, 18-14 in favor of the Flyers, who will start period 3 with a power play for 1 minute and 29 seconds. Steve Thomas took a penalty late in that second period, which is really the story of the game so far. More on that right after this.
I want to like Rebecca, I really do. But she thinks Miller Lite tastes great because it's smooth.
And Rick thinks it's because of the choice hops.
And even if we could get past that, we'd still argue over whose work sells the most sports magazines.
Okay, in-depth analysis of the nickel defense or fishnet bikinis. You decide.
Look, Rebecca, guys buy sports magazines for great sports writing.
Oh, great. So I guess we'll be seeing that Rick Riley sports writing calendar any day now.
Oh, man.
Miller Lite, the great taste of a true Pilsner beer.
So many years hoping for his return. Am I a fool? Perhaps. But still, I wait for you, my little buddy.
Not going anywhere for a while? Grab a Snickers, because nothing handles your hunger better.
It was only supposed to be a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour.
Hungry? Why wait?
We have in our possession a chip that could revolutionize medicine as we know it. By performing 100 billion operations a second, this chip could help us heal across continents. We could touch more lives and give us more time to cherish life's true rewards. But then we thought, hey, let's use it for games.
3DFX PC accelerators. So powerful, it's kind of ridiculous.
If you've never experienced the thrill of Mach 3, it's wake-up time. Introducing Mach 3 from Gillette, the first triple-blade shaving system. 3 blades positioned to shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3, so you don't have to shave over and over, which means less irritation. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Mach 3 from Gillette.
She's managing her time, right down to the dime, with Sprint. Because now it's just a dime a minute on calling card calls, on calls to your Sprint 800 number, and all calls from home. Call 1-800-PIN-DROP and switch to Sprint. You can't control everything, but you can make the most of your time. Isn't that the point of contact? Switch now for a dime every time. Call 1-800-PIN-DROP.
We don't get many shots up there. We get 1 shot, we're on the ice. You gotta practice good. Let's go! Nice, nice. Breathe, boys, breathe. Hey, what if I was a fan? What are you gonna do? Very nice, very nice. Now do it again.
Well, the story remains the same here in Philadelphia. We're scoreless after 40 minutes of play. Welcome back upstairs, First Union Center. Steve Levy alongside Darren Pang, and you hear special teams and goaltending in the playoffs. Well, in that period, how about special teams for 12 and a half minutes of the 20 minutes? It was special, the penalty killing anyway, not so much the power play.
It was. I couldn't figure out what was better. I mean, was the penalty killing really that good on both sides of it? It's been both ways, really, or has the power play been lethargic and not real sharp and crisp? I think when it gets that way, I think you try as best you can to go back to the basics. The basics would be shoot the puck and crowd the net, but there was a huge turning point there in that second period. Maybe the best scoring chance of the hockey game came in that second period, and it wasn't the goaltender that made the save. Whether or not Curtis Joseph lost an edge, we're not sure, but he was swimming uphill right there in a big way. And I'm sure his eyes got real large when this shot by Damon Lankow went off the left skate of his defenseman, Brian Berard. In fact, we saw him afterwards, and I'm sure he had a real big grin on his face in thanking Berard with that save. So, I mean, that was the best one there. Other times, Philadelphia was very reluctant to shoot the puck on Curtis Joseph.
That was after a first period in which Philadelphia totally dominated, much more even play, thanks to the special teams in the second. So what do we expect in the third?
0-0 hockey game. I mean, Philadelphia's facing elimination. Urgency again. Curtis Joseph talked about weathering the storm in the first 10 minutes of this hockey game. He did so after Philadelphia played brilliantly. I believe Philadelphia's going to go in there, get the rah-rah pep talk, get her all jacked up, get her going, and then come back out here and again swarm the Toronto goaltender. There's no doubt in my mind that this first goal is going to be huge.
All right, they figure to get off to a good start in the third. They'll start the third with what else but a power play, and that for 1 minute and 29 seconds. Will it be the final period of Philadelphia Flyer hockey this season? They face elimination here tonight.
Hi there. You know, TV can inform, educate, and entertain, but not everything is appropriate for kids. Here's something you can do to take charge of your TV.
To make informed choices about what programs are right for your children, use the TV ratings. The ratings give you information about the content of a show and whether it's appropriate for certain ages. The ratings can help you make smart viewing choices and use the family TV wisely.
Brought to you by the National PTA and the cable television industry.
Hi there. You know, TV can inform, educate, and entertain, but not everything is appropriate for kids. Here's something you can do to take charge of your TV.
There is one surefire way to teach your children to be good TV viewers. Watch with them. Choose programs together. Talk to them about how conflicts are resolved or people are stereotyped. Show them how to think critically about what they see on the screen and help turn your TV room into a classroom.
Brought to you by the National PTA and the cable television industry.
Father Rick, this is Peter Gammons calling you about the letter. I did not have the time or the lack of decency to ask Tony Gwynn to send you the kidney stone he passed in '97. But thanks for reading my column.
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Cab forward space and available CD. Dream a little dream of me. The next Neon, a lot more to love.
Two pair of snow boots, $110. 2 wool caps, $28. 2 pair of hockey skates, $215. Seeing your favorite place become his favorite place, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard, official card of the NHL.